problem.
So, Chris, you didn't answer me. What is your obsession with seeing me in BDSM gear?
Well, it's a kind of interesting subject, this, because if you want to carry on for last week when you were telling me about how you were into pole dancing, I didn't know this, ladies and gentlemen. Dakota's actually taking up for the hobby, pole dancing. Out of curiosity, how much money have you made out of that in your pole dancing? Any
None.
truckers looks when honestly, I think everybody in the chat here, guys, do you want to see Dakota do some pole dancing? Come on, you need to do some video for us. Come on.
No.
Well, come on, we get a couple
It's
of the
bad
industrial
enough I
vault,
told
like
you
the
about
bus.
the exotic dancing
Ah.
classes I took.
No, I didn't get you taking exotic the castles.
Yeah, full on like Magic Mike stuff, man.
Why did you do that? Is this one of the other kind of like? Was this a long time ago? Is this what you were thinking of? Bald and Bonkers dancing classes or something like that next?
What the fuck? No.
What do you think,
First off,
Stephanie?
I need a better dancing partner than you, man. God.
What about Dots? Dots, come on. You and Dots, I could seize the news strutting away in Ireland, Was it The Full Monty? You ever seen the movie The Full Monty?
Dear Lord, he's gone. I triggered something tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize to the nunnery that said they were going to be watching tonight.
Bless you, my child. Bless you, my child. But you have sinned. Bless you.
Poor Dots.
Aye, I could see the two of yous. The new you might hit. You could hit Ireland like a storm. I can see it now. Coming to Ireland soon. Dots, MC, and Dakota Franson. There's your name, right? Pole dancing extraordinaires. Do 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 do. I can say, come on, I can see it the now. Wait, the new. I've just had an idea. The next event, with Elena, they could have like a separate event on.
Oh, dude, don't break.
Come on. I would come on, these aliens are into this kind of stuff too. The intergalactic species out there, they're into the kind of stuff. They like doing a wee bit of the jigging.
Speaking of which,
what?
I read something that I thought was kind of hilarious in Elena's new book. You're gonna want to hear this.
Oh.
Well, it was like I said, I got my copy. I've already read through it, and okay, there's an interesting little line that she has in regards to the particular species that my wife happens to be. I'm just getting to the bit to it right now.
Gentlemen. If you have any children in the room, send them out.
All right, Nyan Taskaru. That's where my wife is from. The last line of it. Taskaru women are also known to be highly skilled in the art of lovemaking. I was like, Elena, I know that. That's how I got 3 kids.
What about the purple woman with 3 breasts? What about the purple woman with 3 breasts? Are they talked about?
There's one that has purple people in there.
Oh, purple. You don't know what you're missing, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe you should be getting your own copy, Chris.
I'll get my own copy. I've got other things to buy first. I've got other things to buy.
I know you got more important things, which already makes tonight's conversation.
There's Ken Jackson in the room. It says that's how many dollars did you get? Well, there you go. How many dollars did you get when you were taking these classes? Did nothing?
No, I was the one paying for them.
Oh, right. I thought you were the one teaching them.
No. I have other motives.
I've just had a vision. I've just had an image in my head that I don't think burning it on the surface of the sun will get rid of it ever again. I can imagine this room filled with beautiful women doing all the dancing. and then this guy standing, jiggling away. God help us all. That's all I've just. Oh my God, that was a mental picture. Take me now. Beam me up. What?
At least I still got the hips for it.
My hips are gone. I'm afraid that mine's all clucky, and yeah, that's something you're going to look forward to when you get to this age and you get arthritis and stuff like that. You get all clucky and
these kinds of dances actually help prevent that.
Why don't you date in your spare time? Bald and Bonkers, glasses and dancing. I think it'd be a hat. You and Dots. I could see the two of you the new jigging away.
What did I trigger?
Well, look, it's as
Ladies
if I
and
was.
gentlemen,
Remember
we do
that
support mental health, but we cannot pay anybody's therapy bills.
it could have been worse. I could have started talking about the Gators again.
Hey, you're the one clapping them.
Look, there's again. Do you know, right? And this is an actual fact. You ever heard of Robert Burns? There's actually stories out there where Robert Burns clapped sheep and clapped cows and all those kind of things. That's kind of wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, I know about Robert Burns because when I saw the little 3D reconstruction of what he looked like at the museum, I couldn't help. I was like, why the fuck does that dude look like me?
He was chased out of a bridge with horny witches. Man, to do things to him. The bridge you doing? I don't know. I just lived in the road.
Is that where you get your fantasies from?
Well, I tell you, when you want to see in my head's like a strange world to the unknown person, you know. So anyway, we're talking about life after death tonight. We're talking about life after death tonight. We're not going to segue here. We're going off in a. Where's Pete when you want him? Pete in the chat. I bet he's working, watching.
Pete would not help the conversation.
Aye, but Pete's into this kind of stuff. He's into this kind of thing. He's into the pole dance and all that kind of thing.
Into this type of thing, but Pete sounds like he's got more important things to worry about now.
Yes, he does. So, life after death. How do you want to start this off? Because it's one of these kind of things. It's like the end of death, or do you want to? Where do you want to go with this?
I don't know. This is a pretty complex topic, and some coming from a couple of idiots, with our backgrounds, add some interesting perspective. So, yeah, you're the one that suggested it for tonight. How do you want to go about it?
Right, I've been reading that book. What's that called again? Shit, it's over there. Puck.
Proof of
It's
Heaven.
over there. Proof of Heaven. Right. I mean, I definitely believe in life after death. Life after death definitely exists, but I don't think it exists in the same as. See, this is where you can go down the lines of like different religions, right? There's my next door neighbours are having a party, by the way, just in case you're picking up any music. But anyway, when you get all these different religions, right? When you get all these different religions, I think whatever you want, you will get when you go to the afterlife. So if you believe, let's take a Hindu, right? Like they believe when they die, they're reincarnated again, right? I believe that's where they go, right? They're reincarnated again because that's what they want. They want to come straight back again, didn't they? Whereas, where you go?
Well, no, that just reminded me of a joke from a stand-up special.
Right. Whereas we've got like Islamic, where they die, they'll go into heaven and they'll get 36 virgins and that they will stay. I don't think they get that, to be purely honest with you. I don't think that exists. And it's the same with the Bible. I don't think that exists. I think the afterlife, I think you die, you go back to the source, right? You learn why you came here, and God knows why I came here. You came here, right? Hey, Facebook user, we don't know who you are. You came here to learn, right? So you go back I was actually talking to Lisa Fry about this. You came here to learn, right? This is like a school. You go back, you meet your family again, you chat away or whatever. And you know in the afterlife, there's no really time time's different there. So like 1,000 years in the afterlife is like maybe a minute here on Earth, kind of thing, right? So I think that's a lot of people say, "Oh, my grandmother died. I want to see her, but I'm only 10. So what happens if I live and then she reincarnates again?" Right? You came where I'm going with this, didn't you? Whereas if time doesn't really exist in the afterlife, when you get to say 90, die and go over, she'll still be there. Right?
Part
And
of
you
her
can
will.
spend, a part of her will be meet her, do all that kind of stuff. And then it'll be your turn to come back again. You'll have to pick your life's journey. Because when you die, what I've learned from mediums that I know and stuff, when you die, you have to go through a life review to see all the good things that you've done and all the bad things that you've done. And if you followed your soul contract out correctly, and then I think you plan again your next life. What's your opinion on it? Do you think that's what it is?
In some regards, yeah. But also, this is where the weird ET side of things also kicks in. Which, speaking of which, that Dr. Evan Alexander, one question I would love to ask him, because from what I've seen, nobody's asked of it yet. Why is it that there seems to be an overlap when it comes to like near-death experiences? It comes in regards to like ETs and angels. Because if you look at some descriptions of, say, like people taking DMT or hallucinogenic drugs to the point to where they think they see angels. Why is it some people see angels and other people see gray aliens? Just as an example.
But here's an interesting thing. How do we not know that if we go back to the days of the Bible, right, and Jesus and the angels come down from heaven, how do we not know that those angels weren't angels? What happens if they were aliens?
Some of them
Right?
look like it.
What happens if there's advanced races out there that are so advanced they've managed to they don't have form, they're just energy beings, right? And they can go to the afterlife and come back for the afterlife as they please because they're so advanced, right? What happens if it's like Mike would say, right? Mike didn't believe in angels and demons, right? But he believed that it was like the law, and he believed in other kind of creatures and things, right? Angels with white wings coming down to like save you and stuff like that, I don't believe in. I believe there's spirit guides, and I believe that the angel there is like angels, but I don't believe they look like that. I don't think they do.
No, if you actually pay attention to the biblical description of angels, they're a hell of a lot scarier.
They're totally different, yeah. If you is it the Old Testament and all that kind of stuff. If you go back, like the New Testament, the King James ones know exactly the best. But if you go back to the original ones, angels didn't really look like that. They look totally different. And see, I used to know this guy, and he practiced church. He was like a minister, but it was like one of these New Age ministers. And he tell us this once. He says when the angels were come down, he says, "What happens if you think they're aliens?" Because he actually said that to me. He says they might have been aliens, and this is when I was only maybe about 12, 13. And he says to me, they might have been aliens. Because they say the light come down for the sky, right? And out they came. I do believe there's advanced civil. I do believe there's Louise. I do Lawrence too. I do believe there's civilizations out there that are so advanced, even the Federation and all that. They know about them, but they don't even bother with us because we're mere. What do you call it? We're just annoying to them. Do you understand? They look at us like bugs, kind of thing.
There are some variants of those types of races, as you described, but a majority of them do have some sort of form of communication. But the type of beings you're talking about, where they're at, it's all the same to them. It's all different, but it's all parts of the same world, rather.
But I don't know what book it was. It was in a show. I think it was in Coast to Coast AM. I can't remember where it was. They were talking about these beings, and they were so advanced, and I mean they were like trillions of years old, right? And they looked at other races like, nah, they were like light beings, and that's how they existed. And they could travel interdimensional. They could do anything they wanted, right? They could go any. Do you hear that?
Hear what?
I thought I heard my name getting said there. They can travel anywhere instantly, but they're like ascended kind of beings. We are even like the races out there that are millions of years old, that have got Dyson spheres around suns and stuff like that, right? Are no even, they look at them and think, right, that's nice, and then just don't bother with them because they're more advanced. They don't need ships to travel. Do you get me? Yeah. But it's interesting how you say about the ETs, how they've managed to tap in to Earth, to reincarnate on Earth. I find that interesting. How do they do that?
DNA match.
Really?
My understanding of it, it's a lot like organ transplants.
But
you have to make sure that the certain bodies are compatible with the foreign object, otherwise it would get rejected.
but what I'm trying to say is this, right? I'm an alien, right? I'm getting ready. I'm thinking, right, I need to take you, Dakota, and put you into somebody's to give birth to. How do I go about that? Do I like take in my wee ship, fly down to Earth, and say, right, I'll pick that woman there? Is that, or how do they do it?
Usually pick through the mother's side.
Right, is that why?
Is slowly, the DNA is slowly integrated into the maternal lineage, so that way it seeds itself naturally.
So that's actually quite interesting you say that, because you hear families that have had UFO experiences throughout the years. So right, let's say families have had UFO experience for the 1940s to right now, and their ancestors and their children's children are having the same encounters. So it makes you wonder, they had their, that's why they're getting took.
And going into reincarnation itself, even if ETs weren't a factor of it, you still have several stories where people are essentially giving birth to their own parents.
See, that's a weird one, that, isn't it? See, that is a weird one. I mean, I watched something on the TV once, and it was a psychic was telling this person about their mother had died, but they were having a kid, so she decided she was going to come back in that kid. So that's just downright weird, that, isn't it? So it's like,
so like, there's one story, I can't remember where it was out of, but this woman, she was driving around with her kid, and all of a sudden, Annie, why don't you fucking listen to me? And that particular nickname, Annie, was something that only her older brother would ever call her by.
See, did you ever see that documentary on the TV, and it was about the kids, the children that remembered past lives?
Yeah, even Carl Sagan was trying to look into it a little bit.
That's right. I remember that. Do you ever seen the case of the little boy? And he was just starting to speak, and he says, "Oh, that," and he knew everything about the World War II Corsair aircraft, fighter aircraft, and they take him to a museum, and he's like, "Oh, the wings fold and that," and the guy's like, he knew everything. He knew absolutely. He just beginning to speak, right? and he knew absolutely everything about the aircraft, right? But when he got to a certain age, he started to forget. But it was documented, and there's been other cases too. There's been other cases too where little girls and little boys have said, "Oh, I was in the war. I was a soldier." And see,
Exactly.
it makes you wonder what's in for you when it's the end.
Well, it goes to make you wonder how deep that programming actually is, because obviously, with these kids, part of the reason why they forget, yes, it could be, their parents, oh, that's not true. You could never know that, blah, 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 blah,
No.
blah. And they start to believe it. But it could just very well be normal brain growth that essentially covers it up. And they have to get into a certain state of mind, either through hypnosis or extreme sleep deprivation in rare cases.
But here's a question: do you think? Right, I wish Lisa was here because she could probably answer this better. Do you think? Right, you're in the afterlife. You've lived to your 80, you die, you go to the afterlife, right? So you've met everybody, you've had your party and all that kind of stuff. You've done your life review and stuff like that, and they're saying, right, it's time you go back now. Do you think you can pick exactly what you want? Or do you think there's only options? Like, say, for instance, you go to a new school and you get to pick what classes you've got. So you can take science, or you can take woodwork, or you can take engineering, right? Do you think that's how it works?
It really depends on the purpose. Say, like it's what they believe a Starseed program is. They have different programs to serve different purposes. Certain programs will have certain goals in mind, certain lineages they would target. But in theory, yeah, I guess you could technically say that it can go towards any physical body that's physically able to carry the soul. Like I said, it seems like there's almost like an organ transplant acceptance factor kind of into it.
See, this is where you could do. This is where you could do on the side of the bad people, right? What happens to the bad people? And it's quite interesting because what I've heard is, I mean, you could do. Everybody's heard what happened to Hitler. They all think he's in hell. Was it that film, Little Nicky? You know, his dad's shoving a pineapple up his arse now as we speak. I don't think it's like that. I think he's probably been reincarnated again. And he's probably living it. For all you know, it could be one of you that's watching this show right now. You could have been Hitler in a previous life.
Careful, you're talking like that girl on TikTok who's trying to take a
Oh,
claim
that's
to fame.
that is just
I
madness.
know.
That's just madness.
It's like, why would you purposely admit that?
I mean,
one, if she was in fact Hitler from her previous life, why would you want to admit that? One,
but think about this, right? Say there is a karma. There is karma in the universe, right? We all know this. Is you do good, so something good things will happen to you. It maybe happen. No, it maybe take some time to happen, but it eventually does happen, right? What happens if Hitler? I mean, this is what people don't realize today. When you die, say in the year 2050, right? You can choose to come back to 1875 if you want. You've heard that one, haven't you? Where you can actually choose. And I know the psychics have told me stuff like this. You can choose to come back at a different time, which I find very interesting. What's that? Do you think that only a handful of people are reincarnated?
That's actually a very interesting question. I like that.
Do you think that the only handful of people are reincarnated? How does reincarnation explain the increase in population? See, I have heard. I mean, if you could do the theory that there's only so many life forms on Earth, humans, and the rest are bots. See, you could go down this. You could do this path where you could say, right, there's what 8 billion people on Earth.
But only just past 8 billion, yeah.
But only 4 billion of them have souls.
Yeah, this is where it gets really it gets difficult once you really think about it. But in theory,
I mean, yeah,
some of those souls could very well be brand new, quite literally
exactly.
just formed from the cosmos, and that's their first life.
Yeah.
It's one of those things we don't really know unless we're at either a vantage point of those really high-end ETs that don't even have a physical body. They're just pretty lights floating through the air that have some sort of sentience to them, or we're going through the process ourselves.
See, this is what I find interesting because, right, say you can go back to any point to be reincarnated, right? So does that mean you can basically haunt yourself? Say you're in a ghost investigation. What's to say that that isn't you? Just thinking, oh, watch this, everybody! Look, I'm a ghost now. I've got a date to myself. What's not to say that the ghost that you're in contact with isn't yourself?
Something just get dropped on your end?
No,
It sounded like something heavy just hit the floor on your end.
nothing.
Did
Nothing.
anybody else just hear that?
I've not got the noise cancelling is now on. I can hear perfectly fine.
Yeah, it
But I
sounds
can
like
turn it
something
on
just got
outside.
dropped on your end. But well, your age, you're probably going deaf.
Hey, who are you? I don't know. It's my beard. Who is it? It's my family. Yes, it's my beard.
Yeah. What he thinks is it weird. Yeah.
It's a beard. At least I can grow one.
Hey, there's a baby in the house. I don't need to give them anything they can grip onto.
That's very true. I'll tell you something new. Have you ever noticed with kids, and this is a total side thing for the afterlife, they can get into anything. Have you noticed that? When they start to get to that age, like 2, when they start crawling and stuff like that, they can get into anything. I mean, I get trouble opening drawers and breaking about for stuff and that. Give them 10 seconds and they've pulled everything out the drawer. And you're like, "Ah!"
You know, it's one of those things like, okay, it's too quiet in this house for a kid. Where are they at?
I don't know. Is it my ghost Robert? Is he here? I don't know. It's off he called next to me. I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe he's here. I don't know. Louise.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
A lot of strange things have been happening in my house ever since my mum passed.
Speaking of which, one thing I did kind of want to bring up for this, and it's something that you've touched on a little bit with what's been going on your end, is that you hear these stories from paranormal investigations and sometimes even psychic mediums that there's certain, while yes, the dead can come about, they can come in, check on you, let you know that they're doing good if it's a recent passing, but there's certain things they're not allowed to share. What do you think's up with that?
See, that's interesting because I've been playing about. You ever played about with the pendulum?
Yeah, I got one somewhere around here.
Right, but don't. You can use your horn if you want. If you've got to be dead. So I find if you put it on like something sitting stationary, and then you can't say that it's should stay in it. I did it the other night there just for a laugh to see what would happen because I thought I could talk to my house guest, and it was still. And I says, all right, if you're there, Robert, make it spin. And it started to spin. I says, all right, then, if you really exist, stop. And it just stopped dead. It just stopped dead. And I was asking questions. I was asking random stuff. I was asking for my mum. I was asking about other kind of things. And it was doing it. It was spinning, then it was stopping, right? And then I asked it, I says, when will I die? Why not? Right? Why not ask it and things like that? And it wouldn't spin. And then I asked it, what does the afterlife look like? And it wouldn't spin. I felt like there was certain things that it couldn't answer. It wouldn't answer.
Well, under that context, it's like you do realize with the pendulum, it's very limited as to what it can actually tell you, right?
You've got.
That's why it's yes and no,
yes
or unless
or no.
you got
That's
like
what
a
I was doing.
certain piece of paper out to
But that,
spell things out for it.
aye, but that's what I was doing. I was like, well, I was going through like the ages, what age I would go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just wouldn't answer me. It just refused point blank to answer me, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then I asked that another question, some mad random question. I went, "Oh, how's my mum? Is she in heaven?" And like that, and it started spinning. You know what I mean? It was like random questions like that, which I find interesting. I also asked, do spirits stay for their funeral, right? And it started to spin. And then I says, after the funeral, do the cross. And it started to spin. And then I just threw a one in to see what I says, do I have anything serious wrong with me? And it stopped. It wouldn't spin wrong because obviously I've been telling you about my health problems. Then I was asking it about other things in the paranormal, and it wouldn't answer me for them. It just would not answer me. It was like a hit a brick wall. But then it makes me wonder, if there's no time in the afterlife, how do I not know that that wasn't me that was making that spin?
Well, there is that speculation that if it's another you interacting within a certain space, that could cause some sort of paradox, and I don't know, that might cause some adverse effects. But
Well, have you
who
ever
the
came
hell
across that?
knows?
Have you ever came across that spirit no refusing to answer you?
There was a couple of instances where you could just tell there was an obvious hesitation. I was doing it through EVP sessions, and you could just hear the change in the tone because it was shortly after my grandfather passed away. I did a lot of ghost hunting stuff involving him, which he didn't mind because he was how I got my very first case. So he was fully expecting me to do it, and I would start asking, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? I will go to ask. It's like, am I going to make it till my 50s? Because I had a bunch of stuff
That's what
going
I was.
on, and started doing like that. There was like a hesitation, like he either wasn't sure or there was something that he knew that he didn't want to say. And there's also been points, interestingly enough, where they'd be a bit more quieter. You have to really practically blow your eardrums out in order to hear it on the settings. But there would be a secondary voice saying, he's not supposed to know yet.
Yeah. I think right, and this is my honest truth. Everybody's heard of spirit guides and stuff. I definitely think we've got like a spirit team that takes turns following you about. Right. I think there's always two of them. I think somebody follows you about and then one of them just goes away somewhere for his lunch or something like that. The kind of thing where the other one takes her. I think they're always with us. Right. Because they're called spirit teams, right? I think when you start into communication with another spirit, that's them that's telling, do not tell them anything. Honestly, I do. I think that's them.
Maybe. But then it goes to the follow up with the question. Say there's some sort of protocols, like Lulu was saying in the chat, about what they can and cannot talk about. Who enforces them? What enforces them?
If you believed in the Bible, kind of wrote about, the angels came down with their big sword and said, no, nay. I think there's like a universal understanding. I think when you go back there, to the, see, this is what I find interesting. Have you ever noticed, right, spirits that haven't crossed, right, that are trapped in maybe a building, are more likely to tell you more stuff than spirits that have crossed?
I have noticed that.
So what happens if right, for instance, I dropped down deed now, right, and then a couple of months' time or something, you're doing an investigation, and I've no crossed. I'll tell you everything. What happens if when you die, You don't cross, you don't go into the tunnel of light, you just hang about. You basically can tell him to anything you want. Eventually, one of the other spirits will tell you, know to tell you. And the reason I say that is because that's actually happened. I was watching that. It was a ghost hunting team. I can't remember who it was. And they were in the graveyard, and one of the spirits said, "Oh," was answering the questions, and then, like you said, there was another spirit's voice went, "Stop telling them things." What happens if, when you cross, you agree to something? You have to agree.
Oh, it makes you wonder. Because, like I said, you go to talk about situations like spirit teams. In my experience, a lot of them have some sort of personal connection with the individual they're keeping an eyeball of. Either it's an old friend, family member, stuff like that. So while I understand that that aspect of it could just very well be a comfort thing, they also realize there could be some serious psychological damage that if something too much gets said.
Or it is interfering with your contract. It's interfering with your destiny. Let's face it, right? Say your destiny is to come here to learn people about the afterlife and stuff like that, but say you're also your destiny is to live a life where you're in a lot of pain, right? And you lose people and it's got to be terrible and all that kind of stuff, right? And then another spirit tells you that that's going to happen, and you're going to be like, oh no, and you go off on a different road, and then you die, and then you go back to the spirit life, and they're like, listen, you shouldn't have listened to that spirit. You're going to have to go back and do that again. Is that your bet? Your door just opened there and shut.
Cats, dude. Cats.
They're coming for you. What's that? Just go there.
True. Man, the post. True. We would have them conversing with one another. Some of them are like, don't tell them. Then there's some that will say stuff. It's interesting. It's like there's a secret they have to keep.
Right. I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference between two spirits, right? I think the spirits that are on this plane that have no crossed are no as powerful as the spirits that have crossed.
Obviously, because there's a disconnect. There's soul rot. That if they don't cross over, they could just fade into obscurity.
See, this is what I find interesting. This is what. Let's take Robert. Where are you? You're probably about here somewhere, right? Floating about, right? Let's take Robert, for instance. Now, a psychic told me, a good psychic friend, told me that. See when I tell you this, by the way, freezing.
And
freezing cold.
And your camera just froze too.
Yep, freezing cold right here, right now, right? Robert, now, what I've learned to Robert is, right, he died, he crossed over, but he came back, right? He came back to haunt this area, right? But why, if there's reincarnation? Unless this is his purpose, unless this is his job. He basically trying to communicate with me, protect me, and occasionally do stuff on here, unless this is his purpose. Maybe he's got a job as a guide. You see where I'm going with this?
So you're saying that when we die, we still gonna have to go to a 9 to 5? Yep. Fuck! No.
Yep. We have to go to work. Yep. You can. It's absolutely freezing here. It's weird. It's warm here, but freezing here.
It goes to make you wonder. What if? Now I'm just putting this out there. What if it's not exactly a set, strict path line? You're able to choose how you go about to do stuff. Because in the end, you're the one that's got to handle the controls. You may have somebody whispering in your ear from time to time, but while you're out and about, you're still the one that has to handle the controls.
I think they need to watch because it might affect your when you see your destiny, your path in life. For instance, right, you're out ghost hunting, you're talking to a spirit, and the spirit turns around and goes, "What was your grandpa's name, by the way? You cross it?"
Thomas.
Right. This is Thomas, your grandpa. Hope you're well. Oh, by the way, you're going to die when you're 42. Just thought I would tell you that right now. That's going to change your life, innit?
Well, yeah, obviously I'm going to start asking, okay, what the fuck happened?
Right.
Is it a car accident? Am I
right. You
blown to
ask that.
bits? What's going on?
You ask that, and then it goes, you end up having a massive heart attack, and you're such and such, right? So then you think to yourself, right, bugger, I'm going to change things. I'm going to start exercising even more. I'm going to do stuff. You become head. You leave that road, and then you don't die that day. But then eventually you get to like 90 or something like that, and you pass away, and you go to the spirit realm and like that. You were meant to experience death at 42. You have to go back and do it again. And your grandpa's getting a row at the same time. He's getting chased about. I think we're here to learn. I think we're here to learn.
Yeah, it does make you wonder. Because let's go as a little example. Let's say the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of videos you see going around saying, oh, one person who was supposed to be on those planes, their alarm clock didn't go off on time. Another person, they were stuck in traffic. Little things like that obviously on your normal day-to-day be kind of annoying, but happens. But then you realize that you were supposed to be on that plane. You say isn't there something that helps interfere to make sure you go about a certain way as well? That's where this situation gets complicated.
You're talking about Final Destination kind of path here material, right? I don't think it's like that. I think, right, you've went off your path. You were meant to die in the Twin Towers and the terribleness that it was. But just continue your life the way it is the new. And when you're old and die and you come back here, we'll just need to try again. And we'll pick another disaster involving an airplane or something.
Are you the one assuming that it's always something negative like that?
Oh, it might not
But
be negative.
but that also brings up a very valid question. Why the devastation?
What do you mean?
Why the devastation?
What do you mean, like nuclear war and like wars and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, like who would? Now, granted, maybe say it's some advanced society that has such an understanding and disconnect from the emotional boundaries that is human existence that it's like starting up a new character in a video game. Just as an example, who in the hell would voluntarily choose a life where they know something bad's going to happen to them?
Because they want to learn that. See, the more you do, the higher up a light being you become. Like, see, you start off as the first being, and in your next life, you die of a disease, the next life, and the next life, the next life, and it just keeps happening. But every time that you pass your test, you get that little bit brighter, and you get that little bit more higher up. You see where I'm going with this? It's like Louise there, she says, what about the ones that interfere, like tell you? See, I find that interesting. But what happens if there's something that we can't see when they do it? What happens if it does something to them? It stops them from crossing. And they're like, oh, you shouldn't have said that to that person. You're not allowed to cross now for the next 100 years. Kind of thing. What happens if there's like maybe restrictions on them? Or you're never allowed to communicate again for another 6 months?
So here's the thing. Who's to say that individual is saying, you know what, fuck you? It's just
Exactly.
not right. Say like you have these stories of voices coming through a baby monitor say, "Come, something's wrong with the baby. Get her to a doctor now."
Mm-hmm.
And say it follows that example you just gave.
Right. But what happens if
That goes back to when I was saying, who the fuck would purposely let something bad happen if they know that they could somehow divert it?
you're going to get down to free will and all that kind of stuff now, aren't you? You're going to,
Some of
if
those
you really think
psychics
about
also
things.
say that free will overrides a soul contract.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We don't know what happens with spirits that save somebody, right? Maybe the spirits thought, right, this guy's got a job in the Twin Towers at 9:15. I'll accidentally do my magic powers and make his alarm clock no work. Right? That person might be his grandfather or father or mother or whoever, right? But we don't know what happens to that spirit after it changes his way, his destiny. We don't know what happens to that spirit. That spirit might be banished somewhere. You don't know, do you? I think you can. I mean, I've heard. I think it's Lisa says you can actually get out of your soul contract. I've heard of that. You can get out of your soul contract, but do you want to get out of it? Because you're just going to have to come back and learn again, and again, and again,
How do you know?
and again.
How do you know?
That's the thing, we don't know. Nobody knows until it's your time.
There's usually when you go into this type of area where free will is exacted a little too much, that's where you get start getting into stories like Lucifer and Satan basically saying, "Fuck this. This shit ain't working for me. I'm gonna go build something better."
But then you could go down the road to saying, how do we not know Lucifer's actually a nice guy?
Exactly. There's so many. No, that's the point exactly I'm trying to make. There's only so much we're able to see from our perspective as it is now. I don't care how much of a good psychic you think you are. I don't care if you go to a psychic so much you go to them just to figure out how to wipe your ass. There's only so much you can figure out.
But it was that Louise says in the chat,
And there's
unless it's
some
your
people.
guide, maybe they're allowed to help. See, maybe if, right, I've always thought, right, I've noticed, right, when I do ghost box things, I've noticed this in the last few months when I've been doing ghost box seasons just myself. I've noticed the name Robert comes through quite a lot. I think yes, he likes it here, but I think it's his job to look after me. I really do think that, because I've been in totally different places, and Robert's come through. Maybe it's a different Robert. I don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I think he's here for a reason.
Well,
right?
Well, here's one thing. Have you ever thought about asking Robert if you're related?
Never actually asked him that. I'll ask him after when I do my pendulum.
I was like, think about it. A lot of these guys, again, 9 times out of 10, the ones that come through the most have some sort of personal connection. They voluntarily. I mean, first ever poltergeist case I ever dealt with, I was 16. I mean, there was the whole scratches on the walls, voices, things getting thrown about. But it took me about 5 minutes to figure out why that was happening.
No.
It's because the mother in the family, her mother, was very pissed at the husband because he was cheating.
Mm.
But it's one of those things where I got to know the family a little bit more. Grandma died just before her grandkids were born. She knew that they were coming, but she didn't make it long enough. So, but she really wanted to stick around, see their kids grow up, things like that. that personal connection still factors into it, I think.
I found it interesting. It was last year sometime we were away at that Carmichael house, right?
Mhm.
And about, oh my God, about a month, that was a month after my Uncle Eric died, right? And the ghost box said, Eric, danger, Eric. And it made me wonder because I was thinking about him that day. And they say spirits know when you're thinking about them and stuff like that, right? And then it said other names, Samuel, right? Samuel. You obviously came my brother Drew's got Samuel, right? Right.
Aye.
But you know, it was really interesting. Where I parked the car, I parked right next to the graveyard. And see the other side of the wall, my great grandfather's headstone, it was Samuel. So it makes you wonder. I think the day follow you about. I think the day follow you about. Take the opportunities to follow you about. But it's like, what's that there? Was that in the chat there? Can I see that? I need to bring it up. My chat's not working. I was about to say that maybe the universal law. Get what I mean?
Mm.
Maybe it is universal law. Maybe it is. What's this? I've had. Why is it some writing smaller than others? That's weird. That
I know.
I've
I
had.
went into the YouTube and the chat wasn't even popping up.
A pair of bloody binoculars.
Lulu goes to post. I've had an NDE while I was younger. Only for what I heard what to do, I may have drowned. I had them come through during different scenarios. Yeah, I've been there myself.
Ah. See, that's interesting. That
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm the expert in the life after death, guys. I honestly don't know what happens. I do think there's definitely a life after death. I've been with people dying, right, and I've noticed some strange things that they do.
Yeah.
There was, I'll no mention who it was, but there was one, and they were painting in the corner, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to a party tonight." They're all coming for me. Can you not see them? Can you not see them? They're all standing. They're all waiting, and you're like, oh, "I'm the only one here." Like, no. I'm going to a party tonight. I'm going to a party tonight, and I'm going to be the star attraction because it'll be me that's going there. And then they're gone like 5-10 minutes later. What was that, man?
I was about to say, but were you alone?
That's very true. I don't think I was alone.
Yeah,
I don't think you feel it.
Yeah, just recently, I was talking on the phone with somebody, and somebody had been helping out. They had some possible past life stuff come up, and felt that I was somehow connected. We got into talking, and as we were talking, it even caught something on the security cameras I have set up. All of a sudden, there was this flash of light out of the corner of my eye. Then I see something swoop, like it was somebody quickly running out, like that was wearing a robe. So it's like, are we ever truly alone, though?
See, do you not find that interesting that the spirits that have crossed all seem to have robes on? Whereas spirits that haven't crossed are all like kind of like dressed in normal clothes.
And again, this is one thing I've always wondered.
Wow.
I think it was Iron City, one of the Iron City interviews that I asked this last time, but how do we have clothes when we die?
See, that's an interesting.
I mean, these aren't part of us.
That's what I was going to ask. I mean, I've heard like people saying, "Oh, everybody has a big party for you when you die, right?" So do you materialize and having in front of, say, like, 200 people naked?
I was about to say, is the afterlife a big nudist colony?
But what happens if you?
Why do we have clothes?
But here's an interesting question. I think Louise will like this one. What happens if you die in the act? You know?
God damn.
I had to say it. I mean, it's happened to people. Yeah,
I know a couple
you're
people it's
standing
happened
there.
to, and let's just say they died with a smile on their face. So I guess at least they died happy.
Aye, so it's like, I mean,
Their 20-something year old side piece was a little freaked out, but
I was also told that spirits, especially your family spirits, always know exactly what you're up to, Dakota. They know
I
exactly
want to turn
what you're
off
up
the
to.
lights for this one.
Aye, zero G in space. I don't know, but it's that is a good point about the robes and the flip flops. They've got a thing for flip flops, robes. I'm surprised Pete isn't here tonight. Flip flops and robes.
I don't know.
You know, I suppose it's kind of. It must be quite relaxing being in the afterlife. You know. I wonder what people do all day. I mean, when you're in between, like maybe haunting somebody you don't like, or
there's a psychic that I've been trying to get on this show. I think she would be absolutely fucking hilarious. She did a mass, astral projection session to heaven itself. And I don't know. It was interesting. I got a few questions for her I didn't get to ask when I got to see her in person, but story for another time, maybe.
See, I mean, you could go down the road to, say, aliens and that. I mean, you don't need to get born on Earth.
Exactly.
You could go somewhere else.
What about all these kids that, they're having all the same symptoms as kids that were possibly reincarnated, but they're talking about other worlds, like these futuristic cities and these funny looking people. Like that Boris,
us too, have they?
Like that Boris kid out of Russia. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name, but the boy born from on Mars.
I know who you're talking about. I mean, God knows how many lives that me and you have had. This might be your 8,000th life. What's that? You hear that?
Hear what?
That there when I said that. Somebody agreed with him. Well, that's you.
Oh yeah, that was something getting rubbed against the springs on my mic.
Something getting rubbed against the spring, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not that big. Wait.
Where's Jenny? Jenny! He's been dummy.
Why are you wanting Jenny to come out if I'm being dirty?
Why is my mouse keep moving, by the way? That is the weirdest thing. My mouse keeps moving.
I fucking hate when that happens, man.
I put the arrow there and it slowly is going that way. You know?
Oh, maybe it's Robert trying to screw with you.
Robert! Let's do an experiment tonight. Everybody in the chat, who wants to take part in the experiment? Come on.
Chris, we can't hear you. You're lighting up like it's picking up speech, but we can't hear you.
Oh, can you not hear me?
Now you're back. No,
that was weird because that was weird because I went, Robert, let's do an experiment.
There you go again.
Right. Can you hear me now?
Now? God, what the fuck is going on with your mic, man?
There's nothing wrong. I'll turn it right up. Can you not hear me at all?
No, I can hear you now.
Right, let's do an experiment with Robert really quickly. Right. To visit one of you tonight. Dakota, Louise, tell us what happens, because I want you to stand at the bottom of their bed and just stand and stare at them. Thank you very much. A couple of hours should be
Make it
suffice.
to where I can see on camera so we can show off. Come on, that would
Can
be,
you keep going blurry for me?
Yeah,
and if Mike is listening, could you go and visit Dakota tonight? Maybe do something so you can show him he's there.
Help me with my pole dancing. I'm trying to lose a little weight.
Hey, I tell you, Mike would have been into that. Mike would have been into the pole dancing. Oh, great. I'm on nights. There you go, Robert. Louise is on nights.
You see what I mean, Louise? He's always trying to get other people into something dirty.
Well, you can say about your spirit guides. Tell them to come and visit me. Tell them to come visit me. I won't notice it because I wear earplugs and iPad, you know.
Did you just fucking see that?
I seen something move. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was like right where my finger's at. I
There's
saw
a favor.
Light right there.
There's a favor, Robert, is touch Dakota. But obviously in a shoulder or somewhere like that. I didn't immediately.
You telling Robert the Ghost to give me a reach around? You sick fuck.
Just touch his shoulder or his head. Tap his head. Kid, when you're clapping something.
Oh, dear Lord, you're bringing that up again.
Go and see Louise. Go and see Louise. She's probably sitting in a couch or a settee the new, looking after someone. Go and see Louise. Just appear in front of them and go, hello. What?
Yeah, just have her phone glitch out, go to completely black, and there's a face that pops up.
Aye.
Something out of a Final Destination.
I think he's going to stay with you tonight. I think he's going to stay with you tonight. He's just going to sit at the bottom of your bed and stare at you.
Unfortunately, I'm like Louise. I'm on nights, and
it'll be fine then. The graveyard shift.
I don't know. Weird shit keeps happening. It's like I really need to get cameras rigged up on my car. Speaking of which, because there's shit flying around.
You need to get a new car. I mean, how many miles is on it now? How many miles is on it now?
Over 170 miles, I think.
That's not that bad. That's
170,000 miles.
I'll be fine. You know. So, what's the show tomorrow night about, Dakota? Out of curiosity.
I don't know. It's gonna be hard working around guests with fucking daylight savings hitting us next week, or at least here on my side of the pond.
I've only got one show next week, next Saturday, because obviously on the Sunday I'll be busy.
That's right. Let's see. Saturday, I know we get. I don't know. Just make it another fun episode. Maybe do a little contact experiment on air again. Yes. A long time since we've actually done one of those.
Beam me up.
And unfortunately, unfortunately, they fixed the glitch for the CE5 app to where I could go on and just combine different tones. They fixed that problem.
I've not used that. I've not played with the CE5 app for a while.
I was talking with someone the other night, and it popped up by itself on some of the Hindu mantras that it has in there. And I'm just like, okay, is there a hint here?
The CE5 is quite a good thing, I must admit. It does seem to work, you know.
I know.
But that's a story for another time, as Mike would say.
If anybody... get fucking Dr. Greer to come on.
Louise, if you can listen to this, I'm not going to tell you what Robert looks like, because I know exactly what he looks like. So...
Well, yeah, it's better that she'd be blindfolded when it comes to that type of stuff. Wait.
Don't you worry, Dakota's going to be doing a class on paranormal pole dancing. That's a good name for a show, isn't it? Paranormal pole dancing. I tell you, get quite a few views with that.
I should have never told you I took exotic dancing classes.
Well, when we meet in person, we'll be wanting to see a show.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I tell you, Dots is getting excited. He's getting ready. He's getting his
I've already
pole, he's
got.
polishing his pole as we speak.
That reminds me. I need to find my breakaway pants. I don't know what the hell I did with those since I moved into this house.
Breakaway pants, is that the ones that just rip off and fling
Yeah.
away? Wow, you actually had some of them.
Those are comfy, man.
I don't know. Oh my God, how
They're
did
comfy.
you see the pole? Was it like reinforced? Was it like
If they're
well?
if the poles are installed correctly, they can handle about up to 500 pounds.
Wow. Well, look, if you to do a paranormal pole dance video, I bet
Well, you can't
it'd get
tip.
loads of views.
The fuck, Ken? I can't tip. It's awfully cold.
Look, there's no excuse. You could be out there thrusting away for the good of humanity.
Hey, all I
Plus
gotta
giving
say
us
is for
all
all
off.
you Magic Mike lovers, they all had fake ones strapped on.
Oh God. I think we should end this show now. Ladies and
we're starting
gentlemen,
to go
have
off
a
the deep
fantastic
end.
night. We'll see you all tomorrow night with paranormal pole dancing. Coming to you soon by the Bald and Bonkers Network. Well, I think it'd be great. We could get the Smith family paranormal involved.
Oh, dear Lord.
Chad, you can be. Aye. It'd be a new show
Not a
for
chat
us.
page.
He could do that. He's an ex-Marine. He could do it, no problem.
You don't want to know what those Marines get up to, man.
Just you need to watch so they don't oil the pole.
We better end this show before we end up with snipers on our ass.
Goodbye, everyone, and remember, Dakota's doing paranormal pole dancing.
God,
I'm not going to let
I
you go.
should have never told you about that.
What?
I should have never told you about that. Now I'm going to get some very embarrassing messages.
What?
Nothing.
I was waiting. No, what?
I
Hello,
do nothing.
everybody, and welcome to Sunday. Well, we're just having a jolly jape in the chat, guys. A jolly jape in the chat. What have you went? Oh, you fucking bastard! Change my name back again. Change it back again.
Oh, Spanky
Hello,
the Mole.
Stephanie. Hello, Stephanie. And Dots, don't worry, you get a cream for that. I'm sure it'll be fine. You know. So, how are you two on this fine Sunday?
I don't know. I'm shocked I fucking woke up, man.
How many energy drinks did you have last night, like?
No, it was one of those little it's supposed to be like energy drink alternatives.
Oh.
You're only supposed to have one. I had 5.
you can overdose on energy drinks.
Well, thank God I'm the size of a small bear.
See that? Have you ever seen that movie? What's it where the bear eats the cocaine? You see, you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, cocaine bear.
Yeah, I suppose that's the same kind of thing as if bigger people take certain things. You have to take Marriott to get like a buzz off or something. When you really think about it, you know.
Well, the true story behind that particular bear is that the bear actually died.
Yeah.
Well, it
I've
died
heard
before it
that.
did any real damage.
I heard about that. Yeah. I've heard about
Still,
that. Have you ever seen the news reporter where they're burning all the illegal drugs and the wind starts blowing the that actually happened, guys. A
that
lot of
actually
people think
happens
that's
a
fake.
lot.
Yeah. They think that's actually fake, but it's actually real. That actually happened to a news reporter. You
Oh
know?
no, the fire department's here. They go for a major drug bust. They go to start burning it all. They're directly downwind, especially
Yeah.
if it's weed.
Yeah. I know someone that works customs and exiles, right? And they were telling me one day, you can you get a lot of foreigners that come over and they think they can bring all the duty free cigarettes in.
Aye.
And there was this one woman, and she was in her 60s, and she had 6 suitcases, right? Every one of these suitcases was full to the neck with Camel cigarettes. And I
Aye.
mean full to the neck. They tame them and put them straight into an incinerator and let her keep one carton.
Mm.
This shows
You
you the
know,
tax man, you know.
I know. Is it? You know, it's funny what people think they can get away with in airports these days. Is here in Idaho, we have permitless concealed carry, meaning that you don't need to get a permit to be able to carry a handgun. So all these people keep thinking that they can take their gun to the airport.
See, I've heard about that. I mean,
Oh,
you get in a lot of trouble for that.
oh yeah. I think
Yeah, I
the
mean that's
Boise airport says there's at least one bust a week because some idiot tried to take a gun on the plane.
so. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The next time you're going to the airport, don't be taking your small Glock with you. Anyway, let's see who's all in the chat. We've got Emerald Dials Paranormal. We've got Louise. We've got Stephanie. We've got Lawrence. We've got Dots with cream problem. Eh, I'm sorry, Dots. You
Oh
can get
God!
me back at a UFO event if you ever meet me.
What that would require you actually getting out the door.
Hey, I'll have you know I filled in my passport form thingy, my bobber. Only
Oh
took
yeah.
like 5 pages. You have to go for an interview now in the UK. You have to go in for an interview
Oh, that
to say
reminds
that
me.
you
I
know,
gotta get
like,
mine renewed.
I think it's easier to renew them, but when I've never had a passport, so
Eh.
you know, I've only been to
Nah,
Ireland once, and it was Northern Ireland that I've been to, and it was in the Sea Cat, and that was an experience.
nah. Only parts of Ireland I ever been were Dublin, then straight to Belfast.
Sorry, I missed you. Galactic Stardust, welcome. Welcome. I never seen you there at the last second. Why did he disappear there? He was there and then he just disappeared. That's weird, that. How come what channel's Galactic Stardust on? Because he's no
I
in the main
think
Bald
they
and Bonkers
usually
thing.
watch us from the main one.
I don't see him in the main one. Strange
I
that,
don't know.
innit?
Well, I wish they could give us some sort of indicator of which channel they were
Oh,
watching
I
us
know.
from. You know.
What's that? What's Jenny saying? It's getting there, Lulu. Plus, changing my own music hard on the. See, so they're talking away there. They're talking about music, you know?
Well, they're talking about the new intro for their Paranormal Uncut and Galactic Stardust. We stream out to like 5 different YouTube channels.
So there you go. Are you on the Galactic
Backups of the
Stardust? Are you in the
backups.
main Bald and Bonkers website one where there's like only one? Well, there's like 10 people, or are you in like the archives one where there's only like one person and that's you? I would need to go and look.
See,
You know?
yeah. It's like part of our plan to make sure that we can't be taken down is to stream it to as many different platforms as possible. So
Yeah.
know they're going to have to put it in an effort if they try to shut us down.
So here a question for you. What's in the new? I hear there's a lot. I never watched it last night, but there's meant to be a lot more stuff getting released with that Dr. Stephen Greer stuff,
Yeah,
UFO
that's what
stuff
I
coming
keep
for the
hearing.
Senate. What has been getting released? Because I've not been following it lately.
Well, they're cherry picking what they decide to put up. But there was one senator, can't remember her name, that ironically said that some of those senators are starting to get Men in Blacked.
See, that's
Her words.
who are the Men in Black? Right. Here a question for you. Who are the Men in Black? Do they work for like the extraterrestrials, or do they work as their own kind of entity?
Some are ET, some are human, some are hybrids.
But what I understanding was that the Greys and stuff like that were on Earth doing their things aren't here anymore. So who's controlling the Men in Black if it's controlled by?
These are likely the human ones.
So the ones that are still in power, trying to grasp onto power.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting because it makes you wonder if how they make their money. Do you think it's like the movie where they maybe they maybe get like some type of like technology, then try and pawn it off as like technology at like companies and stuff? That's how they make their money.
You know, you're talking about Men in Black 3, where they said the
Yeah,
Viagra came out with a
that was
revolutionary new
quite fun.
pill.
It's quite. I must admit, the Men in Black movies are funny. I must admit one, but it makes you wonder where we've got all this technology for.
Well,
Get what I mean?
a lot of those operations, you hear all these different conspiracy groups saying, "Oh, the CIA has ties in with Netflix and this and that." No, there's actual truth to it. They actually establish businesses, some legitimate, some not so much, in order to
I've
bring in
heard
their
that.
funds. This is actual CIA that's putting this out. That, oh yeah, we have businesses all over the place.
See, that's interesting. That I mean, I've heard that film that came out on Netflix. I can't remember its name. It's like a virus hits all the internet is doing. Was it called? Is it When the World Ends, or what is it? What's it called again?
Was
I
it? Are
watched
you
that.
talking about the one that the Obamas were
Aye, the
producers on?
Obama one. Right, the
Yeah.
Obama one.
Okay.
Did you know there's a secret frequency hidden in that?
Yeah.
Why? Is it because people have actually
Realism.
figured this out? Maybe it's realism, aye, but then again, it makes you wonder if there's a hidden agenda between this. I mean, you look at the now what's happening in Europe now, because the news industry in the UK saying we're going to war and all that kind of stuff. Oh, war's coming, war's coming, war's coming. That's what they're putting out on the TV here, is we're going to war with Russia, right? That's all they keep putting out the now. Back in folk that's staying in Poland and stuff like that, and they say it's kind of all right. When it's like, and it's like George Orwell 1984. I mean, it's like propaganda. They're trying to like brainwash the civilization. Get what I mean? The people of the country.
Well, you got to take into consideration, say, the average daily routine. You know, people, they're getting up, they're getting ready for work, they're getting their breakfast. They're in that primal state of mind where they're just trying to, get themselves food, water, stuff like that. That hunter instinct. That is also a state of mind that we're at our most influenced. We can be the most easily deterred, easily programmed. And they know that. That's why you have subliminal messaging in food products. There's also in morning news broadcasts, stuff like that. There's actual psychology behind all of this.
See, I've noticed that. I've noticed with certain programs on TV now. I try. I fit and I watch now. I try not to watch the adverts. I hate it. I'll actually record it, then I'll fast forward through it because there's so much stuff there drawing you in. Do you get me?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much symbolism. I mean, oh my God, see if you, like, for instance, see if it was somebody told me, says, so have you ever watched the kids' programs? I flicked onto it, it was a Disney Channel. I flicked onto it and I was like, oh my God, see the symbolism. I can't, you can't, once you see it, you can't don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially with Disney.
Once you see it, especially with Disney. I mean, once you see it, it's like, tell you what, I watched a movie last night, Asteroid City. You kind of what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got quite a lot of prominent actors. We've got what's his name, Forrest Gump, and what's his name,
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, and we've got all the kind of top actors in it. But see the amount of symbolism that was in it. It's like it's once you see it and somebody shows you the symbolism and what to look for. That's it. You can't watch anything again. You can't. It doesn't matter what it is. You will see it there. It's like you ever seen that video on the internet? It's called I Pet Goat. You kind of what I'm talking about.
I Pet Goat.
Oh, come on. You've never watched I Pet Goat. That's food. It's telling you what the future. This was put out years ago. Dots, help me out here. I Pet Goat. It's well known. It shows you things that has actually came true since it's come out. It came out, and then like maybe 6 years later, these things happened. Just really quickly, guys, just type in I Pet Goat. Right, and there's an I Pet Goat 2, but it's not as good as the first one. And it shows you where was that? Was it what's the name of that place? What was the church in Europe that burnt to the ground? Was it Prague?
No, wasn't it Notre Dame?
Was it Notre Dame?
Yeah.
That I Pet Goat years before that burnt down showed it getting burnt down.
Is that where?
It's
God,
like an animation.
I remember.
It's Jesus on a boat and it's going slow.
No, I was about to say now that you're talking about it more, you showed me that shortly after we first met. Now that I remember.
Yeah. It's everything. It starts off with like a boat. You need to watch it, guys. But here's a tip: watch it in reverse, because see if you watch it in reverse, there's a lot more things that you miss, that you see. And it starts off with like it's all animated, it's all an animation, right? And it starts off with a boat, and like Jesus is like crucified on the boat, and it's moving slowly. But that's not what you focus on. You focus on what's happening round about you, and it shows you the Prague Towers burning to the ground. It shows you the Twin Towers coming down. It shows you like Egypt and wars and things that's coming, and it also shows you things about China, and it also shows you things about Russia. And a lot of that stuff's came true. It's the same kind of style. Denver International Airport. See the drawings in Denver International Airport. It's in the same style as the drawings, the animation, right? And it's freaky. It is freaky. You need to look that up. I Pet Goat. There's loads of the ones out there. Just watch it. It's everywhere. I think it's got something like 10 million views or something like that on YouTube. There's Dots. Yeah. We are all AI controlled from birth. That's so hard to get over. But when you wake up,
we are all conditioned from birth. Nothing about AI in that sentence.
Oh, sorry, my head's going to say the night. But anyway, look, I wouldn't say we're all controlled. I would say there was like until a certain point where history started to change. Would you know, say?
You know, you see this with a lot of Robert Kennedy's campaign material.
Aye.
That when his uncle was in office, all these different allergies, chronic illnesses, all that were at an all-time low. Then something about after Kennedy was shot, something changed. You see people getting fatter, nowhere near as active. All these chronic illnesses are skyrocketing. And nobody's asking any questions?
Well, you think about it, right? If we go back to, let's say, 1950s United States, right? This is the golden years starting, right? It's after the war, the boom's starting. People are using plastic like it's going out of fashion. They think it's the greatest thing since anything. They think plastic, you can do anything with plastic, right? But obviously now it's one of the most toxic substances on the earth, and it takes ages to get rid of. That's when they started using loads of and you'll notice this, it was from the 1950s onwards, they started using additives. All these weird additives were getting invented. People used to have milkshakes, right? I can remember my mum and all that talking about how they used to go to the milk bar and stuff like that. But then it changed in the early 60s. They started to use powdered forms of milk where they just added water. And it was, if you read the ingredients, the old stuff would say strawberry milk. And then the new one was oh my God, it was E this, E that, E this, E that. And Emerald Isles Paranormal, thank you very much for coming a member. But everything changed. It was like sweets. It was like this sweeteners. And I'm going to say this to now. What is it? Is it aspartame? Is it aspartame's one of them?
Aspartame? Oh, yeah.
And we also know too about the Pepsi, what you call it, the dye they use in Pepsi.
Yeah,
I'm not
40.
saying that Pepsi. I mean, I used to be a big Pepsi drinker. I used to drink normal Pepsi, and it was great stuff. I'm about to say that now. But see, now I'm lucky if I have a can of Coca-Cola once a month.
Yeah.
Because you have to watch, because even with the diet stuff, I know people out there that drink. See the big bottles, they like Pepsi Max. You know the ones I'm talking about. They go through 2 of them a day. They drink it like it's water. And I'm like, oh, but there's no sugar in it. They'll tell me, I says, aye, but there's aspartame in it. Oh, but that's fine. And I said, no, it's no. It's no. And you think about it, they're drinking out of plastic, too. That plastic is leaching. You don't know how long that bottle sat in a warehouse. Think about it. And the chemicals in the plastics leached into the. You notice they get rid of the glass bottles very quickly. I mean, you can still get them, but they're more expensive.
Yeah, but even then, the glass bottles are infused with some form of plastic to make them more durable, or at least that's what they say. Keep them from breaking over somebody's head.
I mean, right? Let's take McDonald's. You ever seen the film The Founder? Right. You ever seen the film The Founder?
The Founder.
The Founder. It's about how McDonald's came about. It was two brothers. It was two brothers that invented McDonald's, and this guy came in. He was a salesman. They tuned it over, and he started to cut corners. He started to buy like for instance, the milkshakes. Powder form. They could make it instead of using fresh milk, they were just adding water. But this stuff had everything in it. I mean, if McDonald's is watching the news, but we serve salads and stuff like that and all these kind of things. No. Your fries, come on. Seriously. You know about their fries, didn't you? About how they...
Yeah. They may taste funny, but they last forever.
I mean, that isn't a joke, they last forever. I hoovered out a car. I bought a car once, and I found a McDonald's wrapper, getting it holds the fries, under the seat, and it must have been 10 years old, and it still had fries in it. They looked perfectly fine. They looked perfectly fine. That's the chemicals that's in them, which that there for Emerald Isles Paranormal Research became a member. Louise, what's this one?
Louise posted, they noticed builders were having weight issues and developing breast tissue. Estrogens were found in the cling film. They noticed it because their sandwiches were wrapped in them. Scary. Yeah.
See, I mean, long ago, if you to go back to the 1900s or the 1800s, food was all right for you then. But there was a lot of people who used a lot of chemicals. I mean, they used lead.
Yeah.
What was it was prevalent in wallpaper? Was it mercury? What was oh no, it's arsenic, sorry. Arsenic was prevalent was prevalent in wallpaper. See, like the Victorian wallpaper, the nice green colour.
Yeah.
It had arsenic in it because it came out a nice green. They used arsenic, and the people were getting unwell and dying because of the wallpaper. They were touching it. and then they were licking their fingers and stuff like that when they were eating their dinner, and they were dying. And what was it? Was it the Mad Hatters? What was that? What metal was that?
Mercury.
Yeah.
But the nice shine in the hats can also cause psychosis.
Yeah. I mean, the Romans actually used, and I didn't get this until a couple of weeks ago when I was watching a program. The Romans actually used lead pipes for their water. But do you know how they made it safe? Do you know how they made it safe? And it's ingenious. It's actually ingenious. They would make their pipes out of lead, and then they would deliberately run water through it that's got like high in elements, like maybe like chalk and really high in elements, and it would coat the inside of the pipe. So they would do that, and then it would cause like a layer to protect them for the lead, which is
you gotta
basically really clever.
Going back to the Romans, you gotta wonder where the hell did that intelligence go? You know,
They invented the toilets. They invented a lot of stuff.
Exactly. Where did that intelligence go? Some sources even claim that like ancient cultures, the Mayans, the Greeks, they had their own fucking space programs back then.
Yeah. I mean,
where did that intelligence go?
Look at the people that, I mean, if you really want to look at this, look at the people that built the pyramids, how accurate they got them with the stars.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even to do that today would be ridiculously hard.
I know. I mean, Lawrence posted something. The UK police sweet forward started seizing sweet products in small shops because they've been made in the US and don't meet European Union standards. I've noticed that while I was over there.
Skittles.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only going to say one word. Skittles. You came up and talking about.
Hey.
We meet the rainbow. The ones in the United States are totally different from the ones in the United Kingdom.
A lot of the food is very different.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say this. I go to a shop called B&M's, right? And it's like a lot of it's like American import stuff. I don't eat it anymore. And when I found out what was in it, I was like, oh my God, I'm never touching this again. You know how you get Lucky Charms? You know how you get the cereal Lucky Charms?
Aye.
See the wee marshmallows, which are irresistible. You sit for ages like picking them all out to eat them. There's actually the same stuff in that as they use in weed oil.
You know, they say if you got an ant problem, one thing you can do is just leave a pile of Lucky Charms out somewhere, because the same chemical that is in Lucky Charms is very similar. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's very similar to a hormone that ants secrete when they're dying.
Yeah.
And even if, say, like, they're trying to carry away the dead and dying ants, and one of them accidentally gets this chemical on them, that old ant will think it's living dead and just stay in whatever graveyard they've designated.
Everybody thinks that this new age that we're living in quite a good age where the food's actually good for you and stuff. It's totally wrong. They're totally wrong. Everybody that says that, they're idiots. They're totally, absolutely. I learned something the other day there, and I was shocked. And it was a farmer that told me. You'll look at it about, right? You ever go into the supermarket and you'll see the wee baby carrots?
Yeah.
Right. Would you say they grew them like that, then picked them, washed them, chopped them, and then put them in a bag like that?
Nope.
No. This is what people don't realize. They come for big carrots. They take a big carrot, they cut it in half, and then they file it down to a wee baby carrot, and then pop it in a bag. Your baby carrots don't grow like that. They don't. And if you ever taste it, I've tasted ones with bags, they taste weird. They taste like they've been washed in bleach. I mean, a farmer was telling me all about stuff, and he was telling me about the meat industry too. And a lot of the meat, but I'm lucky where the meat comes from around about here, it comes from like kind of like free range farms and stuff like that. And it's good. But he was telling me about the chemicals some farms are using, the antibiotics. And oh my God, see some of these, like in Texas, for instance, the big massive farms where they keep all the cows
Yep.
and the cattle, they're pumped through, and I mean they're pumped through antibiotics. It's in their food, right? And it's not just that, it's other chemicals too. And then that cow gets slaughtered, and then it gets chopped up, and then a human eats it. You're ingesting those chemicals that cause. Look, I'm no vegan, right? I see what the vegans are saying, right? But I'm always, if the cow's had a good life, wandered about a field, it's had a really good life, and then it's been taken to slaughter, and the meat's good for you, right? But when it's mass produced in that scale, I think it's totally wrong. That is totally wrong.
Oh yeah, because in order to maintain the standards and output of something that's mass produced like that, you got to cut some corners.
No. It's the same in the dairy industry too. It's the same with the milk. I mean, people don't realize that the milk has got chemicals in it. Some farmers that do the free range cows will wander about a nice green pasture all day, nibbling away at the grass. But some cows are like locked up nearly all the time at eating like food that's fed to them. And that food that's fed to them has God knows what's in it. God knows what's in it. Then that cow's get the milk's getting pasteurized, then it's put into a jug, you're buying the jug, you're drinking that, and then lo and behold, you get cancer when you're in your 60s or whatever. And then you wonder why. And you've led a good life and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can't trust anything now. Even some of the free. Oh my God. Talking about that, I seen ham. I bought ham the other day, and it was smoked ham, again, bacon.
Oh yeah.
And it said in the packaging, it said 85% water. Oh, what? And it's true. That's what they do. It's like they pump it through water and God knows what. And then food enhancers. See the amount of this was out of Morrison's. It was through, what do you call it? Taste enhancers to make it. It was this. It said it was smoked ham, right? There was no bits of smoke that went near it. I can tell you that right now. All the smoky taste that I had off of that was chemicals.
Yep.
And then they wonder why there's so much cancer.
People don't realize every bit of food, every bit of fruit, everything you think that is supposed to be healthy for you. And this is going out to the vegans too, because they're just as much affected by all this.
Oh, yeah.
Every fruit, every vegetable has been overproduced, overfarmed to the point where, say, 50 years ago, almost 70 years ago, back in the 1950s, you had the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
But in order to get the same level of nutrients today as apples back then had, you need to be eating about 50 of them a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to give you a rough ballpark of what we're talking about.
I get showed the other. I get showed it and I didn't believe it, and then I went and did it myself, and I was shocked. I bought some apples, Granny Smith apples. You ever had Granny Smith ones, green ones?
Aye.
And I ran it under the tap, and all this weird. I put it in hot water just to see what would happen, and the water went all in weird multicolored way.
It's wax.
It's wax.
Yeah.
But what's inside that wax? It's no normal beeswax. It's like manufactured wax with God knows what.
Exactly. The wax is supposed to help it during transit, keep bugs off of it and stuff like that.
Yeah. And there's lawns there too. They add water for weight. Exactly. It's, I mean, it is comical what they actually do to food when you really think about it. I was shown this, and this is actually a fact. Have you ever seen the cheap meat like steaks? And you think to yourself, well, that's a nice looking steak. That I could have that. Do you get what that is? It's really clever what they do is they take all the scraps and they chop it all up, right? And then they add this meat, or what's it called? It's got a name, convulsifier or something like that. It's a meat advice on it. And they add this powder, right? And it turns it into a solid bit of meat.
Mm-hmm.
But it's full of chemicals, it's full of taste enhancers, it's full of salt, it's full of all these things. And you can tell meat that's like it when you taste it. You can tell it's got a kind of rubbery kind of texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because I had it once. I was like, somebody says, "Oh, I got these steaks for £3 each," and I'm like, £3 for a steak? I'll give me one of them at the barbecue. And it was, I was like, half an hour later, I was still chewing away. Yeah, I mean, it was like, whereas real meat that's had like farms where they've roamed the hills and stuff just melts in your mouth, kind of thing. What's that Emerald Isles Paranormal says there? They shine the apples to preserve them and make them look more appealing. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
It's all about making it look pretty.
Aye. It's so a bit. I don't get it, right? When I was a wee boy, right, we used to get the farmers market and stuff like that and other kind of stuff. We get carrots that were misshaped. It's still exactly the same thing, but people will not buy misshaped carrots.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it's weird. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
People are so fucking vain these days, though. They want it to look pretty. They want it to look this way. They want it to look that way. I'm sorry. Well, let's just look. This is probably a bad segue considering we're talking about football. Let's just look at most dog breeds nowadays. All of these fancy, all of these high-end, fancy bred dogs. Look at the number of fucking issues those dogs have. Whereas a random stray off the road can just take about just about anything. They could eat chocolate and still live a full life.
I mean, I will say this: there is some weird-looking dogs out there. What are they dogs called, Jenny? Though, if you're in the chat, Emerald Isles there. What are they ones with their face look like they've been hit in the face with like a frying pan? Is it boxer dogs?
Pugs, bulldogs.
Pugs and bulldogs, right? They were bred that way, but it actually causes problems. It causes
they had to get
problems
surgery just so they could fucking breathe.
Yeah. Emerald Isles, don't get me started the dog breeds. Oh God!
I figured Jenny was going to get riled up on that one.
There's Jenny there. Pub boxer British for shelf. What was it? Oh, I'm reading different chats here. Good God, man, go slow down with the chat. Pug boxer British bulldogs.
Yeah, I wish it would just bring it up all on its own, you know.
But it's man has interfered with nature far too much.
Exactly.
They have. I mean, let's look at Dolly the sheep, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Chinese are cloning animals left, right, and center.
Oh yeah, China has a service.
Pets.
I was about to say China has a service that allows you to clone your pets.
When does it stop? When do they start cloning humans?
Who's to say they aren't already? They just say China already beat us to super soldiers.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what's happening in secret underground bunkers or secret places in the world. There could be clones walking among us. We don't know. It's not just that. Have you seen the fake fish? Have you seen the fake fish that's going around? It's
fake fish.
Aye, did you just look it up on YouTube, guys? Fake fish. You kind of, you get haddock, which is quite a prominent, or I think it's pollock's quite a prominent fish. It's fake. It's made of plastic, and seemingly it's happened. I know somebody that works in the food industry, and they've came across it a few times. Really cheap fish. It looks exactly like fish. It tastes like fish, but it's plastic. It's madness because it's
and they wonder why plastic's been found in the human bloodstream.
Aye, and they've tried to stop it, like the border agencies and the people, the government, and that they've tried to stop it, but there's not much yet getting in. It's horrendous.
But the thing is, when it comes to these types of operations, These people that are running these shops, these things, they're not dumb. They know to research that thing in and out. They have, I mean, look at just how, going back to Disney, look at how much Disney has managed to lobby for its own interests. All
Aye.
these different companies do the same exact thing to let them fly under the radar. It happens
Yeah.
all the fucking time.
Disney, I can't even watch Disney cartoons even more, even the old cartoons, because the amount of symbolism that's in them.
God.
Yeah. It's the food industry's. I'm very careful what I buy now. I do buy frozen stuff now and again. I'll buy like a frozen pizza and stuff like that. I can't help it. But the EU have started grinding up mealworm and putting it into food.
Yep.
And they've been doing this in the country now. So people of the Ireland and the UK, you could be eating some mealworm
Mm-hmm.
bugs,
It's
basically.
the bugs.
I mean, I've got a bag Chris earlier. I got them a couple of days ago. I've not had a chance to nibble them yet. And, they're kind of like aliens, space raiders, they're called, right? Pickled onion ones. And I don't often have them. I thought I'll get them for a bag for a treat. And then I read the back of it and it was, oh my God, it was E563, E1314, E160. And it was corn. And I was like, holy shit.
I was like, for fuck's sake. I would say, you feel like you would need a chemistry degree in order to do that, but even the fucking chemists are like, that's not good. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
See, now in the food industry now, there's a lot of chemicals in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had people give me meat straight for the farm, right? You're not really meant to do that per se, because people will say, "Oh, you get disease. Oh, it's not like food quarantine."
Yeah.
But that's just their ruling because they want you to eat all these chemicals and stuff like that. And I'll tell you something new, it tastes totally different. It tastes
Oh, yeah.
totally. It's again, this has got to sound weird. Have you ever tasted milk for like a free range cow that's not been pasteurized?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, guys, it tastes totally different. It's like, oh my God, what the hell's name is this? I remember when I was at the school, I remember they used to give us milk, right? It came in a glass bottle and it used to be frozen at the top in the winter time. That's how far back we're going here.
Yeah, way back.
Way back in 1980. Well, I went to school in 1985, 1986, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the milk tasted good. It tasted good. See, now milk, even like Cravendale, that's been like filtered milk and that, it's got a weird taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
I've tasted organic milk straight for the farm, and it's like, oh my God, it tastes totally
Mm-hmm.
different. But I wish Pete was in here actually, because he kens all about the kind of fertilizers and stuff like that. I mean, that's another thing that people don't talk about, that should talk about. See, because we've grew that much stuff now, we are dependent on fertilizers.
Oh, yeah.
We've taken all the nutrients out the ground. That's why we need to keep using fertilizers. What's that? Lawrence saying, go to your local butcher shop and veg shop. Don't buy the supermarket stuff. Exactly, that's what we do. Emerald Isles Paranormal. What's the story with the strawberry milk vanilla? What's that? Vanilla. I don't mind. It depends what kind you have. It depends where
Depends
you
on who
get
you
it
get it
from.
from. And you also got to take into consideration. They say if you were to, research back all these different companies, who owns them, all that fun stuff, you can trace all these different companies to having ownership to 3 major corporations:
Yeah.
BlackRock, Vanguard. There's one other one that keeps escaping me.
Oh, I
And
can the
they
one you're
hold
talking about.
shares all in each other. almost like 95% of the world is run by 3 major corporations.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think it's even higher than that. They'll say that most of the housing is going to be bought out by BlackRock, Vanguard. Why do you think Robert Kennedy was denied Secret Service protection?
Exactly. Best milkshake I ever had, right? And it was a strawberry one. Somebody tamed strawberries, freshly grown strawberries, right? And freeze dried them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they powdered them, right? And then they added it to whole milk, free range milk. And it was the most tastiest thing I've ever tasted in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with chocolate. But
Yeah, no. All these flavor enhancers are simply there to try to replicate the
tell you what,
original flavor.
I bought a packet of chocolate the other day, right? Where am I? Right. It was I bought this the other day, right? I don't know if you Hershey's.
Right.
Right. I bought this the other day. Hershey's cookie, cream, and salted caramel. Right.
Ooh,
Everybody in the
that's a
chat
good
will be like,
one.
"Ooh, I bet that tastes nice."
That's
Have you ever
good one.
have you read what's inside it? I'm like, sweet Jesus and all that's holy. I mean,
Some days,
it's
Chris, some of us would just like to, live in blind and just
I mean,
enjoy life.
I know what you're saying, right? I know what you're saying,
Like, come
right?
on, read us the
Right,
storybook.
right. Come on, it's got right. It's got sugar, vegetable oils, palm extract. I mean, why? It's got sunflower oil, skimmed milk, powder, corn syrup, right? Lactose. Jesus Christ. Wheat flour, frotacine syrup, whatever that is. And then it's got the whole type. For fuck's sake, I can't pronounce this. I look. See, my Scottish accent here. Emulsifiers, right? Emulsifiers. I say that.
Is that
Right, but just listen. It's got soya. It's got cornstarch. Fuck me. And it's got salt, rising agent, sodium bicarbonate, E73965, whatever that is, E4442. Come on, it's white chocolate and cookies and cream.
Hey.
Come on, seriously. It smells good, by the way.
Hey.
Coach one will come through the new and grab it and slap me across the head on the way back.
No, being that all the Easter candy right now is like I keep eyeballing all the Reese's eggs.
Yeah.
I love my Reese's. I love Reese's.
I'm going to say this now. I'm allergic to Reese's. I can't eat Reese's. I get violently sick if I eat a Reese.
I think you are the very first person I've ever heard say that.
No,
in all honesty,
it's got genetically modified sugar cane in it. You ken that, don't you?
What isn't genetically modified these days?
That's very true. That's very true. But come on, a chocolate bar used to be chocolate cocoa beans that were crushed up and some sugar and milk was added. Now it's got all these crazy, weird stuff added to it.
Yeah.
You know? What's that? Louise is saying they can vegan. What's that? You can try fake meat. Aye, fake meat. Aye.
Oh yeah.
This is something that really.
I was like,
really
wait, we talking about the vegan fake meat that's out there? Dear Lord.
This is something. What is the point of saying vegan ham when they go on about it so much? Right? Why not call it something else? Right? Why do they have to call it ham? Okay, I mean, have you ever tried vegan ham? It's like fucking cardboard with fucking the most disgusting thing I've ever.
Sorry, I just saw Stephanie's comment.
I bought some Reese's eggs. Was that
today?
Reese's
Don't
eggs
ruin it for me. Damn it.
I'm just saying it's got genetically modified sugar in it, and everything's genetically modified. It's in it. That's what I'm just saying. Don't blame me if you wake up one morning with diabolical stomach pains, and that's what I'm going to say about that. Maybe I was eating too many. Maybe I ate too many that day. It was a 6-pack. The cups, right? And you know what it's like when you start eating that. Look, it's crazy stuff. Peanut butter's
Yeah,
good,
no,
right? But there's too much sugar in that now. I've cut away doing that. That chocolate bar, I've had that chocolate bar for ages. I mean, I have cut back quite a bit. I mean, the only thing, this stuff that I'm drinking, bar shandy, right? There's no alcohol in it before MD says that there's alcohol in it. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, by the way. I mean, look at the ingredients in the back here. I mean, it's all Enos. I mean, I just don't know anymore.
Honestly, I think that's just shorthand because it's just so they can still get away with listing everything, but they don't have enough room on the fucking package.
What's that? CDSP goes just. What's that? Take a Reese. But there you go. No, I can't. Maybe I've ate too many of them over the years. I don't know. I just can't take them anymore. I think it's something that. I think it's changing. I think it's definitely changing. See, everything you eat now, it's changing.
You can taste
trying
it.
To kill us. You can. I can. I can. I've got a dream about Reese's peanut butter cups tonight. See, they're actually the shop near me. They're selling big ones that size. Big ones.
Aye.
Full big ones. For like $4 something or something.
Yeah, you can get like 3-pound ones.
I mean, look, it's all right
3
to
pound
have
as in
one
weight,
noon again. It's all right to have one noon again, right? But no, I can folk out there that's guts in the bloody things, and then they complain that they're no feeling well.
Right.
I mean, what's that? A beanie bean? What's that? CDS? About now. Jelly beans. You have no idea the amount of numbers that's in them.
Oh yeah.
You have no idea. The colorings, the food colorings, oh my God.
Aye.
I think we'll have to try and stop putting. I mean, some of these ads are either all right. I used to eat them when I was a kid, but then it makes me wonder: is this why I've got all these health problems now? Because of that, there.
Maybe.
Because I'm no drinker. I don't drink. I have an Irish cream at Christmas, and that's that. That's that. I mean, it's not as if what
Stephanie gonna kill you. Stephanie gonna kill you.
Now I got to start on my jelly beans, but come on, it depends if they're. What's that famous make of jelly beans? What's the famous make?
Oh God.
Oh, what is that?
I usually don't eat jelly beans, so fuck.
Oh, what's the famous make of jelly beans, guys? Jenny, Louise, what's the famous make jelly
Ladies,
beans?
Ladies, come on, help us. Candy, you should know this.
Candy.
Oh, I'm gonna get myself slapped.
Right, I'll jump off the jelly beans and I'll go into what else? I will say my downfall is right. There is one thing that I do like to eat: Nutella chocolate spread.
Edibles.
Nutella,
yeah.
Jelly Nutella belly. Chocolate spread, right? Nutella chocolate spread. Hey, thank you, Jelly Belly. I mean, round trees, Jenny. Round trees. Oh my God, I'm getting hungry.
Oh dear God. We're gonna have to put a diabetes warning up in this episode, motherfucker.
I'm partial to Pop-Tarts. You like Pop-Tarts?
Not really, no.
You never had a tart, no? You never had
I have had Pop-Tarts, but I'm not really a fan.
Yeah. You know?
They would not be my first choice.
He's worried here in case I start bringing up his, would you call it, his pole dancing career. See, I tell you, I would mention it, Jenny.
Yeah, no, she was asking it at the beginning of the episode.
I know for some weird reason the bloody chat doesn't work from my end. I don't know what's that. What's that? Galactic Stardust, the waffle crisp. What? What's this?
Why should it be the ladies? I have sisters, Lawrence. I know.
Not a good way, but I'll tell you.
The number of times I walked into the house with a couple chocolate bars held like a crucifix because I knew a woman was pissed at me.
Maple syrup. What's your opinion on maple syrup?
Oh God. Well,
pancakes.
Oh God.
drizzled.
I
Look at like molten. Like, imagine like a different layered
this is a
pancakes, maybe
bad
3 or 4,
discussion to have before
and
I'm
then
supposed
look,
to have dinner.
and then look molten like what do you call it? Maple syrup. It's just lovely, you know. Guys, I'm eating marshmallow pie. I've never had marshmallow pie. Only food.
Oh, don't get started on the
Chocolates.
marshmallows.
Hot chocolate with marshmallows in it.
Mm.
We need to bring out a cooking program.
Fuck.
What? You never had marshmallows?
I'm getting hungry, man.
Have you ever had your? You ever had?
I'm a big man. If I get hungry, it's not good.
I wish you could smell this. By the way, this is. Oh, it's like. Let me show you a wee bit of it. A wee bit of it.
Thank God,
it's really bad for you. It's really bad for you. You shouldn't eat things like that. I'm doing it for scientific.
Yeah, it's really bad for you. I better dispose of it.
I'll tell you something new. That's sweet. See, sugar's a drug. Can't remember.
Ever set like a bit of Hershey's on top of when you make a hot chocolate and just have it like melt into the chocolate?
Oh my God. Huh. Emerald Isle Panel, but I had that too. Hot chocolate cream and marshmallows. Cooking with Jenny, coming to Bald and Bonkers.
Why do I?
Oh, Jesus Christ, and all is flipping holy.
Well, that explains why she's on this show.
You love nuts. I do like salty nuts. This is just slowly spiraling out of control.
Slowly?
What's that? Galactic Stardust. I just did maple syrup. It tastes too saturated. Oh,
you're in trouble with Jenny.
What's this, Chris? Well, you never had salty nuts. Cashew nuts, they're good.
Yeah.
What? Chocolate nuts. What do you call it? Is it an almond?
Bald and Bonkers chocolate bar.
Aye.
There's a thought.
Aye.
Oh, I wonder.
Bald and Bonkers chocolate bar.
Oh, Lawrence just gave me an idea.
Aye, we could have it bald on the outside and smooth on the inside. The chili, the chili honey ones. Had you ever had a? This just turned into a mad show tonight, talking about sweets and stuff like that. I know. We could talk about ice cream next if you want. Well, me and Lulu loves honey. What's that? Me and Lulu love honey coated.
Honey coated butts? Really?
Butts? Really? I didn't
really?
I didn't think you were into that, Jenny. I didn't think you were into that kind of thing. How do you coat your butt in? How do you coat your butt in honey? How do you coat your butt in honey? Do you
I don't think you would want to do that too much with a bunch of dogs nearby.
You need to watch in the summertime, by the way. All the flies would stick to it.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Jenny, your thought. Oh, my God.
Wow.
You know, we should
definitely learning a lot today, aren't we?
Yeah. Look, Jenny's allowed to do what she wants. She's a grown woman.
Hey. Whatever floats your boat. We're not here to judge. Personally, we may think a few jokes, but we're not here to judge.
If you're into that kind of thing, you must get quite a lot of honey. You know what I mean? Honey's nice. I like honey. You ever tried? Is it the maca honey or whatever it's called? For like what's it called? I'm pronouncing it wrong.
When did this turn into a foodie episode? Dear Lord.
Paranormal food. I'm telling you, that's a new show, Paranormal Food.
Not really. Didn't Zach Bagans do a cooking show?
No, we need to cooking show. We need to have Jenny. I mean, Jenny and Louise, where we talk about like wines and chocolate and honey and all that kind of stuff. What's that? Manuka honey. Thank you. I'm Scottish and I'm daft, so Manuka honey is really good.
Well,
Really, really, really nice. You know. So coming soon, it's Cooking with Dakota. So Dakota, what are you cooking tonight?
I don't know yet. God,
Oh God, honestly.
I would hate to ever get stoned
How?
because
Stones?
just
I suppose if you were back in like the 1600s, you get stoned all the time. You would definitely get stoned for the thing you were a witch or something like that, you know.
right.
Was strawberry preserve. See, bagels are nice, right? But I can't put anything sweet on bagels. Yeah.
Now I'm starting to drool. God damn it.
And here's one for you: Nutella chocolate spread. Everybody's heard the Nutella chocolate spread.
Oh yeah,
Do you know what they
Nutella's
sell near
getting
me?
everywhere.
Nutella ice cream.
There's
And
this
do you
one
know what else?
creamery not too far from me that makes Doritos ice cream.
Do you know what else they can buy? I don't know if it's just Scotland you can get it, but Bailey's Irish Cream Ice Lollies.
I think I've seen a couple of those here around the holidays.
Mm-hmm. So, well, we should do that. We should do that once. We should do a cooking, but you could dress you as a chef, you know. So tonight, Dakota cooks us something interesting, you know. I mean, the galactic people up there bound to eat, take it. I mean,
Well, they have replicators that make a meal based on your DNA.
Oh my God. Can you imagine
They
if I
do.
had a bit? Yeah, I would. Jesus Christ, you needed one of the Chinooks to lift me out the house.
The food. No, the food they can cook. It tastes good. It's good for your it adjusts to your system. Tastes good, and it's actually really filling. And that's me saying that.
There's honeycomb ice cream or rum and raisin. Oh my God, Jenny. Oh God. That sounds good too.
No, Dakota's stomach.
Look, we'll have to think about doing a special show on food. I'm telling you, paranormal in the kitchen, we could call it. Where Dakota goes to like a bagel factory.
Paranormally in the kitchen. It's like, come on, it's Bald and Bonkers. We gotta work some sort of funky name like that. Paranormal in the kitchen. Just slapping paranormal in front of anything. That has got to be some of the laziest fucking naming I've ever heard.
That would be good to have a meal based on your DNA. So what's your favorite meal then, Dakota? What's your favorite meal?
With those kind of meals that I like to start is talking about, it's almost like its consistency is almost kind of like Jell-O, but it's actually probably several times healthier for you. They say get local honey if you suffer from allergies.
Aye. Yep. And it's true. Did you know that diabetics can eat honey more than sugar?
Aye.
Yeah. Honey's brilliant. I do like honey. Honey and toast. I mean, that's my staple there. You know? But Jenny likes her honey tea, you know.
Clearly. Honey-coated butts. Wow.
Oh my God.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. So, Dakota, show next Saturday. What's the name? I need to find them really quick.
Looks like Lost Souls, I think.
Lost Souls, I think it is. Let me go to the old calendar, you know, the old calendar where I was typing in everything wrong, you know.
As usual.
What do you mean? It's Rick McCallum Sunday night. It's Rick McCallum Lost Souls. So we'll watch that.
Yeah, didn't you say that he had some sort of UFO experience?
Yes, he did. He did when he was out ghost hunting. You know.
Let's see. That's a Saturday. That following Sunday, Chris is going to be off.
Yep.
So
Dakota's got
I
to be
think
doing a cooking show.
no. Hey, I'm just gonna say this right now. You make fun of me, but a lot of my skills came from trying to impress ladies.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't care you were into pole dancing. That's a new one in me.
That was a bachelorette party.
I mean, I'm telling you, I didn't know it.
I know I wasn't drunk.
dancing.
I just had a
Why
lot of
didn't
very drunk women talk me into
you?
it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why you took the classes. Mm-hmm.
That's not the type of classes I was talking about.
Okay, it's all coming out now, ladies and gentlemen. It's all coming out now.
Hey, don't be hating on me because I know how to move it.
See, that's true about Louise and Jenny are talking about. I get hay fever and I've taken honey, and it definitely helps.
Aye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, are you getting any shows this week, Dakota? Any strange shows?
Nah, I'm working on a little something on the side, but we'll see how that turns out.
You know. So, everybody, thank you for coming, and I hope you all have a fantastic week. Hopefully, I'll try and do a video through the week because sometime. Oh, Jenny's doing a show. We'll go to Jenny's show tomorrow night. We'll be talking about tomorrow night again, Jenny. I think we're just talking about EVPs or something like that. I think I don't know what we're talking about. I can't remember. Gone daft, you know. Excellent show. Thanks, everyone. Dots.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, been a while ago now.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you all in the future, won't we? Next week.
We'll see y'all next time. Much love. Take care. Lots of interesting little projects coming up. Nothing that Chris just suggested. So be safe. Take care. Much love.
Oh, you've changed.